I'm ready to hear it, Kale. What you got for us? Spill it for us. Why you been gone? So, hey y'all, what is going on? And welcome back to another recap with your girl Ash, and that is me. I am that Ash girl. All right. So tonight we are doing a recap for Teen Mom 2, officially official. Um, I can't remember what episode this is, but we are well on into this. So let's go ahead, kick back, relax, go ahead, get your drink, go ahead, get, whatever it is that you might puff on, get your blanket, get a pillow, whatever that's going to make you comfortable. Let's jump into this recap. But first, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Check me out as I do recaps, family, lifestyle, motherhood, all that like little good stuff. All that good stuff happens in the land of Ash. So I definitely want to make sure that you are here for it. So hit that button, bang the bell so you get notified when the videos drop, and of course like this video so we can make sure that we get this out to more and more people like you who might want to see more T-Mom content, chop it up. So if you just need a TV friend, someone to chop it up and talk to about some of these good shows, I am your girl. So yes, you definitely want to drop me some comments and I will definitely talk back to you about this week's episode. So T-Mom 2, officially official, and officially official is all about our girl Leah. Her and Jalen have officially made it official. So, boom. Backing it up just a little bit. So, they went, to Costa Rica with her sister or whatnot, and they had a great trip. They were able to get to know each other on, another scale. Even Jalen talks about how actually had gotten, emotional because I guess of the depth of like their conversations were even going to. So basically, everything was going good. He set up a date, and basically on this cute little date, he asked to be, to make things exclusive. And of course, she accepted. So he went back to Georgia, she's back in West Virginia. So like they're kind of like getting back into, the norm there, back into their routine, and them like kind of like really having a long distance relationship, and really kind of how like that's going to pan out, how that's going to work, because obviously Leah doesn't necessarily, she can't travel the way he's able to travel with him being, not having kids. So she has a lot more commitment and things so that it doesn't permit her to be able to travel the way he's able to. So it seems that they've, set up an agreement so where like they basically like set up an agreement or basically whatnot, or basically that he will come and like visit basically like once a week, stuff like that. So she comes home, the girls are happy to see her, they were with their dads plus, with the babysitter. So at the same time, now that they are exclusive, Leah is ready to, she feels like she's at a place, she feels good about him. She's ready to go ahead and let him meet the girls or whatever or whatnot. So on one of the weekends where he does, he was coming down, to visit, we are able to go ahead and see that interaction and see, him meet the girls and have the interaction with them. And it's great. They seem to, like him. They can vibe with him because apparently Jalen is a twin as well. So, you could definitely tell he was nervous, didn't really know, like, probably what to say or, like, what to do, or probably was thinking, like, in his head, like, what are they thinking about me or whatever. But after, the visit, they, told Leah that, they liked him. Yes, he definitely has, like, he was giving off good vibes, like, so it definitely seems like, like they're feeling him. They're feeling him. Seems like a good person, somebody that they, obviously they're going to continue. Because, and I get Leah. I think we were taught, it was seen as if, we should wait. We should wait but so far out. And, that idea is to wait this long before we should introduce, people to our kids. Now, obviously, yes, I don't think everybody is deserving of meeting your kids. But I agree that I think it's better to not wait to allow them to meet them, because let's just even just look at it like this on a spectrum. It's because at the end of the day, it's all chemistry. You want him to vibe with the kids. You want the kids to be able to vibe with him. You want everybody to like each other. So you've been dating this guy for a year. Obviously, that's a long time, but you've been dating the guy for a year. He hasn't been able to meet your kids. Blessing for you, because like Leah said, for some people, like my kids are everything. I'm always around them, they're always around me. So it's kind of like an inevitable thing. Like he's gonna have to meet my kids, basically. But let's just say you're a person that's not been, you've been able to keep them from not meeting for so long, or whatever amount of timing, and then now you really liking this guy, whatever, you bring him in, and the kids are like, nah, I don't like him. Nah, bring him in so that the kids can fill him out, because I very well feel like they're very well as good a judge of character. Yes, kids have their moments. They will go through things because they may be jealous or they not be ready for, maybe possibly to see their parent today. That's a door to open up. That's a whole nother conversation, whatever. But they you need to go ahead and see early on how that man's going to be interacting with your kids, how he's, like, words aren't anything. Words is not, and really they don't mean anything. What means something is your action, what you do behind those words, you backing up those words. So her letting Jalen come in, meet them, you know, early on, like, I'm for it, especially now that they went on and decided to make things exclusive. At this point, if you decide to go ahead and make things exclusive, obviously, yes, like, you've thought about your kids and how he might be a fit in. So there's no point even waiting, and waiting a very, like, extensive and like a long time, like, and they, like, they're getting the I love yous, like they're saying their I love yous, like they are really, like, flowing, like, into this, and it's now making me think, like, wow, like maybe they were like dating for, like, were they really dating, like, I don't know. I think I may be underestimating how long they might have actually been dating when we saw family reunion, but nonetheless, like, things are on the up and up for them. They're really feeling each other. It sounds like he's even opening up to moving there closer to her. So let's continue on this ride for Leah and continue to see how things continue to unfold for them, for her and Jalen, because but a day is definitely unfolding and rolling. We pick up with Brianna, where they basically were, like, filming their last 2 weeks. I think she said, her and Brittany in San Diego. So they were just coming home from that family reunion. So basically, we're picking up, which I'm excited about. Lily said, I want to hopefully see. I wonder if we're gonna get to see what it looks like for them after now the family reunion. So they're back from the family reunion. Obviously, things went so good. Like, her and Devon had a major breakthrough. We're able to see each other in ways that they haven't been able to see each other. Because one, like I think they both realized that they were young. Clearly, yes, they were young. They didn't know anything about each other. Especially on that level that you kind of get to understand. I tell you, when you really start to get older and you start to understand things, and how things in your life shift into how basically how it ends up coming out in the present, it all kind of like all rolls all in together. It all kind of like rolls in one. So her just talking about, how basically, things have been basically been doing good. They, basically that family reunion went well, and that, they set, like, trying again to set like a schedule, something consistent for Devon that he can do, just to continue to be more present, for Noah. And we actually, as well, like, y'all know, we get like little moments with Devon and like his friends, talking about his parenting, or his parenting with Nova, or co-parenting with Brianna. So we actually get to see him with the girlfriend. They're out and about, like, putt-putting, talking about how things went in San Diego and how things are going to look for the future for him and Brianna, as well as for Nova. And I was just like, I'm here for it. Can we be here for more of Devon getting more? Like, that little moment of him was that little moment like almost like 5 minutes long? I could be very well exaggerating, but it was like, finally we get to see Devon for more than a minute out of the show, on his own, at least, that is, not when he's filming with Brianna, but like just doing it on just him, and his perspective and things when he's talking to his friends and his people or whatever or whatnot. So his girlfriend definitely, she seems nice, she seems sweet, she seems understanding to his situation, and what he has all going on. So I was completely here for it. And then to hear him say that he wanted to even just take it to another level and them have, a family date, just not, and not the girlfriend, just him, Nova, and Rihanna. It was like, I'm for this. Let's continue this. Like, yes, efforts. Let's continue to flow, in this direction. Let's really take the horns by the head. Let's really take what we learned in therapy and apply this thing. I really feel like it's like now like you can see the growth already in Devon and like some of the maturity and like the confidence of him a little bit versus then after getting that all out, because even like when he brung Nova back from gymnastics and they were talk about Nova still had homework to do, and that basically that Devon could help her in her homework. Just seeing her, just he just seems just so much more free, y'all, and just like he can just be the he feels now he can show who he can be that parent that he wants to be, if that like necessarily like makes sense. I know that possibly is like, wait, what? I know that probably, like I said, I know that probably like will not make sense, but it's just something different about him, and seeing him now after this therapy and even how he it I loved every piece of it. So yes, seeing them on their family like date, showing Nova that they are continuing to grow, continuing to get in a better space, that they can be in the same place at the same time, without the fights, without arguments. Just I definitely think that's a good look, and I'm very excited and looking forward to like what's going to, you know, really just hoping that they stay on this path. Let's just stay on this path, and I really feel like they will, because I really feel like they, to a degree, gotten like an understanding of each other, and so if they can just stick to that, we'd be good. We'd be on the money, right? So I go Ashley and Bar. I go Ashley and Bar because Bar is not a girl. So our girl Ashley and Bar. So Ashley is, as we know, she's still trying to figure out, what's going on, what's happening, understand as well what's going on and what's going to happen for her and Bar, in their marriage or whatnot. Pastor T has like, an event, like a cake decorating, event. So of course, Ashley comes out, holds her mom down, and Barb comes as well, like to want to support. Because at the end of the day, as much as Ashley's mom, Pastor T, might not be big on Bar, she does care about Bar. She does love them. There's history there, and she wants to see Bar do good. She wants to see Bar do well for himself, and Bar as well wants to, be there and show her mom that love. So, they show up for her, help for that, and the sister came, and so her and Ashley sit down, just again, just kind of like conversating about what had last transpired, and her sister was, just saying like, dang, like, I was hurt, like seeing basically like seeing you hurt, like seeing you cry like that impacted me. And again, Ashley just trying to explain, like, I really like, don't know, like it's when you're still trying to figure things out, what y'all are doing and whatever, like I just did not know, and that was the best thing that I could say versus saying one thing and then turn around and say another, doing the back and forth flip flop, like I said, flip flop, but it's really more of like a back and forth type thing. So, you know, she's basically like, at the end of the day, looks like they're trying to move forward. She feels like therapy, could be the next step, in the right direction for them. And I love that, of course. Ashley's always Ashley's sister has always like been supportive. I feel like she's always been in support of Bar. So as well, I'm glad to see, or hear Ashley get some type of support and backup and stand in her marriage, with Bar. And as well, her sister checking her like, look, like, okay, boom, y'all gonna move forward. That's cool. Do that. But as well, once you forgive, you forgive, and you gotta move on, move on from it or whatever or whatnot. So, from there, they, basically sit down, her and Bar, actually sit down and basically actually, talk about, the progression and, basically what she wants from him and what he, wants from her. She wants him to, one, obviously they agreed that, therapy would be, the first step for them in the right direction that they think could be helpful for their relationship. And then as well, she wants Bar to remain, disciplined as far as like doing something, whatever it is. And like it's not like she's like, oh, you need to do this. I want you to have this job, or she's just like, you need to pick something and just stick with it. Like have discipline, like get it done. Like no more excuses, like no more mess. This is what I need from you. And that be that. And Bar, he's like, well, I need, like communication, from you, and more of just like, what was you saying as far as like the communication, asking for, communication, from her, and more of bettering, bettering how she communicates, because that was a thing, like in, at the family reunion, was kind of like her way, sometimes, um, is it E or demasculating? I can't remember if it's D or emasculating right now because I'm having a whole moment. But making him feel lesser as a man or whatever, whatnot. We know Ashley got a mouth on her. We know Ashley can, definitely dish it to him. But she's aware of that. They both are aware that there are things that they have to work out and work on in this relationship. So it's not like they're not naive. They're not, thinking that, oh, things are great. Like, no, they realize they have certain issues, and those certain issues, have to be worked out if they, in order for the betterment of their relationship, and if it's gonna work out. Now, girl, Jade. Now, Jade is still being anti-Christy right now. Even though Christy's not, going to jail, she's still choosing, to keep that distance right now. It's just the tension, the drama, the Jade's like, we ain't even gonna deal with that. We're not even looking towards that. So, on the good side of it, like things on her, Jade is at that place where she's really trying to get stable and create some type of stability, for her and, for Chloe. She does speak to Sean. She speaks to Sean while he's in therapy. They do get, I think they get like once a call, 1 week calls, one time a week calls, which are, short lived or whatever or whatnot. But that's when, their time to kind of catch up on, what they can catch up on and try to get that time, with Chloe. And we see Chloe clearly struggling, with the fact that, yes, I see Daddy, but why isn't Daddy physically here? Why hasn't he been here? And, her childlike way, like she's, having it out. Like she's having, her fit, because she doesn't understand. And of course, kind of like the way the kids do is they, kind of like rebel back. So even like, as much as I'm pretty sure like she wants to talk to him, she misses him, she rejects him on the phone when he finally does get to the phone. But of course, like kids do, Daddy's gonna bring you a present. I'm gonna bring you something that, lightened her up, got her talking to him or whatever or whatnot. And then as well, she gets to, Jade drops, a good news bomb on him that, she's basically, buying a house, which is definitely congrats, Jade. It looks like the end of this or by the next episode, you're definitely gonna be, a homeowner. So that's definitely big kudos, for you on that. And I was definitely relating, definitely, to Jade in this aspect, because I definitely, and I think as well as I was like getting on myself, I was giving myself grace at the same time, because I realized like before moving to North Carolina, I didn't move around like that. I had lived in two places, by myself or whatever. Whatnot. The first place I was there for a couple of years, and then the second place that I lived in before moving to North Carolina, I was there, for like a good 6 to 7 years. Like, definitely had no plans on being there that long, but I was there that long. So me getting here and feeling like I have been, we were in that apartment for a year and a half, year and change. And then now, as I'm transitioning to start to move, I think maybe as I'm factoring in how much I've had to hop between trying to move and then just looking at it all in general, it's like, okay, even when you move, you're still thinking about, okay, a year from now, at the end of the day, you want to buy, like, it's so much. And it's just like, I just want to sit still. I just want to be stable. I don't want to keep having to move my kids. Like, I completely get where, Jay was coming from. And then as well, she didn't have that background. Like, we pathological stuff. But we were stable. My younger part, no. I wouldn't even say we were stable. We were. My childhood was very stable. It was very stable. Not even make sense. We moved, but it wasn't a lot or whatever, whatnot. When we moved, if we moved one time, I had to make new friends one time, and here my baby, she's gonna have to make new friends two times now. At this point, but both my babies, but nonetheless, I completely just get where Jade was coming from and wanting that. And especially when you're a mom, there's a lot of what you want or whatever. Now, as well, I don't mean like to skip over that like that's so easy, but especially when you have kids, you definitely want that stability that starts to really like shine so much brighter in your eyes. It's like priority or whatever or whatnot. So at the same time, I think I was just so anxious to get to this. So what's this? Is this like the way they was talking? Sean's excited. Is Sean gonna move in? Are they going to look? Are they gonna get into something? Are they gonna work? Try to get back together. Like, what is that going to look like? Are they back together now? Are they slowly trying to see how things are going to go? That I'm definitely anxious to see. They do get to see. They go for a visit to see him. Looks like in the rehab next week. So at this point, I think it's just out of curiosity at this point. Like what y'all gonna do? How y'all gonna move? Y'all done this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, I definitely hope this therapy definitely has helped Sean greatly now. Like, I'm hoping, obviously, yes, with the therapy, like, it's gonna be different, especially if they're talking about getting back together. So I guess definitely we gonna be staying tuned for that. But to save the best for last, because our girl Kale has shown up. So while it's only been 2 weeks since she's been gone on TV in TV world, on real life production, filming wise, she was gone for 3 months, y'all. Kale did not film for 3 months now, because y'all know I kept saying I'm ready. I'm ready to hear it, Kale. What you got for us? Spill it for us. Why you been gone? So basically, she had things that were going on with her life were not aligning up with what she was going what she was going through in therapy necessarily. So it's, I guess, basically like, I'm doing this work, I'm healing, but yet there's still chaos, there's still drama, there's still mess. That kind of stuff wasn't aligning for her. So that, along with, because she's like, either neither, it sounds like, I guess mainly it was that, not necessarily. Yeah, I guess it was basically more of that, not necessarily about her baby daddy, not necessarily about Chris, according to her. So basically, she's like, and then as well, in addition to that, or basically after I was seeing these things, is when I see the situation with Chris. So I guess more or less, I guess maybe the Chris was the straw, the Chris and Brianna thing would have started broke the camel's back. And so it was just like, all right, I'm done trusting the deuces. So as well as what I found so confusing when I'm trying to understand, and it may not be something I don't understand, but I found it so weird that she was having a hard time with coping and getting back into filming. Like, this is what you've done for so long. And I'm like, I know y'all do film a lot, but y'all do get breaks, like, at some point, right? Like, I know, even though we might not see it on TV, y'all still may be, even though y'all not, or the episodes are not on TV, y'all still may be necessarily recording. Like, y'all gotta get a vacation. Don't they get a vacation, y'all? They gotta get a vacation. Like, so it threw me off, but she was just like she was anxious, and like she had to really like prepare herself, for getting ready to get back filming. Like she was completely, and I guess maybe at the same time because of all that she's going through, not having to film, it was just like maybe it was more peaceful for her than maybe what it had been prior, or just a different experience than what it had been before when she wasn't filming. So that threw me off, that it was such a challenge, or anxious for her, knowing that she was about to get back into filming. She had to mentally prepare herself, to get back filming. So all the while of that, baby mama's no drama is all baby mama drama. Okay, so basically, before we jumping into that, let's just do what baby daddy check, in my Encanto voice. So, in one of my Encanto song voices. So that's going on with Chris. Basically, she responds to him about, she sends him texts and about parenting. He doesn't respond. Her and Javi are still not talking, and she basically, but it's kind of just like, okay, what happened again for y'all to get here, for y'all to even not stop talking? Because she's like, with Javi, it's not Javi, no, Joe, messing it all up. Joe, we're talking about Joe here, not Javi. So she's basically saying, well, with Joe, he is stuck in the past. I'm doing this work, I'm doing this work, I'm doing this stuff in therapy, and yet he still sees me as this person. So what happened then? Because they can be good, they'll be good, and the next minute, they're not good. So what happened this round for things not to be good? Like what exactly happened, Kale? Like somebody please give us some insight. And so that opens it, and so, mind you, the baby mama's no drama, but she's saying that doesn't impact anything. That usually, somehow they're still able to, make it work even with her and Joe not necessarily being on, good terms or not speaking. And then Javi basically is up and down, bipolar. She don't know, one minute they good, one minute they're not good. She don't know one day to the next if they're going to be good, if they're not going to be good. So Kale, I tell you, look, is it inevitable when you just have that many baby daddies that you're just not? No, I refuse to believe that if you have that many daddies that you're not going to be able to get along with all of them at the same time. Somebody got to do better. Somebody got to do the healing. And if Kale is doing the healing, then possibly it could be the guys. Or maybe it's just still work that still needs to be done. It's a work in progress. Like healing is not an overnight thing. Healing is not an overnight process. Like this is a life thing. This is a daily choice every day to heal, to do things differently than what I was doing every day. Every day. Write that down because that's a note. Now, and getting down to this, baby mamas who clearly got drama. So basically, V basically outed Kale to Javi, and it's now basically coming to present life now because Javi and Kale had a falling out. Javi asked not to be spoken up about, basically be in their mouths on their podcasts, and somehow a conversation ended up coming up about V and V being deceitful. Kale decides to put it out, try to get everything put out on the table, opens a group text with the three of them, and then it ends up V coming back and telling Kale that she had told Javi about her being pregnant with Lux and so forth. Basically saying, and then basically she ended up getting, tea from, Javi, that basically she, reached out to him on social media. They literally met up, and she was just fed up. She's like, basically, I'm just fed up with you looking stupid. This is what she be going on. Now, y'all help me to remember. I think I'm starting to put two together because I was just like, wait, she didn't lie about being, Lux being Javi's is. I definitely didn't remember that. But I think what I remember was they were definitely. I think did Javi like go away? Was it like they had to do some military stuff? He was gone away for a second or something, and then basically, it's like I think they were kind of like just in like a figuring out type phase, trying to figure out what they were doing. They were divorcing, get back together, like whatever. Because yes, they showed a clip that she was kind of like hiding the pregnancy from Javi. So yes, clearly something was going on. Something was clearly still going on with her and Javi. Maybe not official, like yes. Either way, he got wind of it from V, and at this point, it's caused discord between them two. While they are clearly going to still have to deal with each other, Kale was just looking at it like, I just don't think that we can continue to do business, going forward with each other, from here. And for a second, I was like, why is that even like? Okay, fine, it happened. It's been years ago now. Why do we need to end the business? And Kel said it because they didn't end up meeting up or whatnot, and I think Kel kind of seemed as if it was already going to be over because when she had went to the office, the stuff wasn't there. So as well, she was trying to figure again, like I said, it was like I guess this is going to be over. But Kel was basically saying, to V, like our podcast is Baby Mama's No Drama. Are we going to change the Baby Mama's All Drama? It's definitely like are we gonna strategic, it's definitely I think it can be worked out strategically if that's something that they did want to do and keep moving forward, whether they were to change the name or whether to actually have a podcast about speaking the truth about what happened and be going behind Kale's back and whatever and really thinking about it, not that she even had any loyalty to Kale at that time. I think because basically V was basically saying, based at that time, she was, at a low place, probably herself, her and Kale probably weren't even, at the best of places, going through postpartum depression, just like, obviously it wasn't in her place, she wouldn't do anything like that again, but of course, she apologizing for it, and just I'm so mad, and I did. I said, y'all. I was like, I'm gonna do some research, and I'm gonna try to like get a little bit of a backstory and look into like what happened, like what was really going on, like what. And nah, I'm not. I ain't even gonna sit here and be like, yeah, no, guys. I ain't gonna sit here and be like, yeah, guys. I'll probably no, I'm not. I ain't about to. I think that's what it was. I think there was a lot like back and forth, but with Kale and Javi around that time, and she was low key seeing other people, because then as well like the miscarriage that she had uh, with Javi, the part something with that was like deceitful. Just like y'all, come on, let's talk about this. Definitely take me back down memory lane. If you remember, if you know exactly what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and get into this and talk about this. And what do you think? Do you think Baby Mama's No Drama should definitely, be it now that it's shown that there is a little bit of drama? Should they change the name? Should they just go ahead and part ways business wise? Of course, they're going to remain family. They're going to still remain, friends and have that relationship. So this doesn't seem to be hindering their relationship. So it's not even that the situation hindered the biz. Well, it hindered the business because of the brand, what it stands for. And there is a bit of drama. At least there was a bit of drama in the past. And this whole time, yeah, it is. It's kind of just like, yeah, y'all make it seem like y'all had like this great, not to say because they didn't always have that great relationship. So it's kind of like, but at the same time, Lux ain't that old. So it's kind of like 4 years ago. If this happened 4 years ago, this happened 4 years ago. So I don't know, y'all. Let's. You see how like I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. And as always, let's check back. Let's be right here next week so we can go ahead, chop it up, talk about what's happening next Tuesday on Team Mom 2. And as always, thank y'all always for checking in with me and being here, and I will check y'all later.